Because of our size, we never felt we really needed an attorney, which I disagree with. People need an attorney. When you open your business, day one, get a good attorney. But so we functioned as a C Corp for years.
When I began representation of Ed and Georgette, one of the first issues that I noticed is they had an operating business, and they also owned the land in which the business was operating from, and it was put into the same entity, which was a corporation and was also a C corporation. The problem with a C corporation is that it's double taxed. Income flows into the corporation, you pay expenses and so forth for which you get a deduction, then you have a net income and you actually pay tax at that point. Then when you distribute funds back out from the C corporation to the shareholders, then those are dividends, which are again taxable. And in some cases that, when you look at the two tax rates together, you're looking at an overall tax rate of 79%, which means you're only keeping 21 cents on the dollar, which is really not a very tax efficient system.
Paid taxes through the C Corp. Then the money we took, we paid taxes again. John reviewed it, set us up as an S-corp, so everything flowed pretty much into just the bottom line, and it was taxed then one time as an S-corp as our income, so a major deal.
And also, as a general rule, you do not want to have the land in the same entity as the operating business for both tax purposes and also for estate planning and asset protection purposes. If there's a problem in the business value may be affected or lost, but you still keep the real property, and so again that would be better protected.
Back when we still had the fence company, we were having trouble finding enough space in town of Reno in order to really set up a lumber yard, and that's primarily what we did. We had a lot of lumber. So we looked out there at land, bought 5 acres, and I had actually started building the facility there before I sold my business. And so when we were building it, the whole area started growing up. Walmart built their Northern California distribution center there. PetSmart came in and built a large distribution center. And so since we were out there, we saw this going on. We bought some additional land and ended up building a warehouse for our facility that we leased, built another warehouse, sold it to a steel fabrication plant, and then we developed 15 pads out there on one piece of property, and then just as pieces of property came up that interest us, then we bought them, and so we have a few pieces of property out there in that area.
And then also when you have a sale of the business downstream, which many times owners are not thinking about when they first form the business, but you should always be considering an exit strategy for when you're ready to move on. You can sell the business and then have another stream of income from the rental proceeds from the rental of property to the new buyers.
Tesla, which Reno worked extremely hard on, got a lot of press on them attracting Tesla and getting them out there. I mean, that plant's going to be a $5 billion plant, employ about 6,500 people. Very, very big thing for Nevada in general, but Reno Sparks, that's huge. They're out there, and because Tesla came in, now we got a Apple manufacturing plant there. The largest that just came in is Switch, and that, of course, by the time it's done, is going to be more than 5 million square foot. Now they're talking about that whole facility costing over $10 billion to build, so that's a very, very major deal.
One of the other problems with a C corporation is many business owners with a C corporation, when they're faced with that double tax, decide, well, gosh, if I distribute the money out, I just pay the money in taxes. So what are we going to do? We're just going to keep the money inside the company. The IRS and the Franchise Tax Board is way ahead of you on that regard as well, because if you fail to distribute the funds out, then they can have what they call an excess retained earnings tax. So they're taxing it even if it's with a penalty because you're failing to distribute it out. Converting it to an S corporation got us off the hook regarding the excess retained earnings, so now we no longer had an issue with that. And then also we're able to currently distribute income out from the company on an ongoing basis without that double tax structure, which gave them a great deal of flexibility. One of the downsides of an S corporation election is because of that tax savings, the IRS will have what they call a built-in gains tax, so that if the business is sold or transferred within a 10-year period of time, they're going to be taxing you on any of the appreciated assets for which you save tax on the conversion. It's interesting how it turned out. When we flash forward 10 years, they actually were selling their business. We timed the sale of the business to close 2 to 3 weeks after the expiration of that built-in gains tax period. And so it allowed us a planning opportunity, and it provided a very, very substantial tax savings for them overall.
And it did when we sold our business, was a huge tax savings.
You don't realize how many times that you could really use an attorney. And if you're going to ever need the attorney, you need a good one. He's an extremely good attorney. I mean, he's covered us, we've dealt with him now for, well over 20 years. And like I say, I just wish we would have gotten him on board sooner. Wish I would have known him sooner.